Hello, this is Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Friday afternoon / evening Zoom edition. And we did have a nice pump of Bitcoin about an hour ago, and I think I know why. Let's go to my Twitter feed. Should be seeing my Twitter feed.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
so this is someone I followed for a while, Crypto Bitcoin Chris. And the first headline breaking, the SEC will not be appealing the court's decision on
Ah,
grayscale. And that was just an expiration of the deadline. So that was 5 p.m. Eastern, which is it was an hour ago. So the price shot up, blew through 27, and then grayscale BTC spot ETF still has to go through the SEC approval process. So it's not a green light stamp necessarily, but the ETF did clear a hurdle through the court.
actually, I'm not sure that's correct because from the information I've heard is if they didn't object it, then that's a default approval, and they can't go back on it. And
I've heard that too, and then I saw Chris's post, and I thought maybe there's still some more to go
no,
through.
I don't think so because if they didn't object to it in time, it was a default approval. And in a way, what it was doing was giving one company a head start. It's like a default way of favoritism.
Hmm.
So because I mean, technically it might have to, but it's already approved because they can't now come back and challenge it again.
Well, let's
Well, that's my understanding. But then
all
I'm a
right.
Kiwi, so how would I know about America?
If you're seeking a Kiwi's analysis of American securities law, Craig's your guy. So, but all jokes aside, it did have a nice move up. Whether there's another step or not, most people are going to interpret it probably like Craig just described. So let's look at the hour chart. Shoot, let's look at the 5-minute chart. So this is the big spike up right before the deadline, and then it dropped down and then went up again and now going sideways. So regardless, we're over 27K. We're hoping that 26.5 ends up being the new support for Bitcoin on the way to 30 plus. So regardless of the interpretation of what's going on legally, we did have a nice pump today. So it's nice to see a green candle on the day chart. Get rid of that. On Ethereum, also green, followed a similar, not quite as strong as Bitcoin, no surprise. A big pump, a drop, and then going sideways, but still, above 1550. It had been hanging around between 1530 and 1550, and we'll see if that holds. The 1550 holds as the new support for Ethereum. Okay, any other comments, questions, speculations about the market overall before we go to Altcoin Alert? We do have a nice green day today. Yeah, practically everything is green. Cool. All right, then. Let's go to Altcoin Alert, see if we can find some day trades for the weekend. I'm on the altcoin radar. Gonna reload. I had a couple alerts go off. Let's look at those first. And if you're not that familiar with TradingView, you're still getting used to it. Here's your alerts tab, and it'll list them for you. A lot of mine have to do with my auto trading, so I have to scroll through these. I have a 1, 2, 3 dip pump for Theta. Theta is something I found through my usual sorts this morning. And at the moment on the RTI, it has dipped below the 80, though gone above it again. So I think I'm going to wait for another dip before I consider this as a short. I like to have a short on Friday afternoon. because generally speaking, the markets tend to lose volume and drift down. But with this news hitting on late on a Friday, that could be different this weekend. But regardless, I'll leave that alert as is. We'll see if it fires off again. Let's see. I don't think I had any others. Yeah, that was the only one. So mark all is red. Put this back. And let's start from the beginning. Altcoin Alert. I've done a sort. I'm going to do my AA score sort. And I've got IOTA with a 90.3% AA score. That's unusual. Don't see 90s very often. So I put alerts on this one. I don't think they fired off yet. No, not yet.
Is it on Bybit?
Well, I put it on the trading view, and then I was going to trade it through my manual account if it went off. But
Yeah, and I'm just wondering if it was available on Bybit because a lot of them are.
yes, it is. So we have a nice move up here on the 15-minute. Let's check the 5. See, we're probably not going to see any dip sequences based on what I showed you for the overall market. So if you are looking to get in on IOTA, try to get maybe 2 or 3%. There's some support here at 1427. That might be a good entry in this vicinity. You might want to wait till it drops down here to the green zone, just above 14 cents. So on this one, right click just for price alert, add an alert. And I would call this one AA score purchase. So that's how you do that for price alert. But as you know, if you've watched me before, I prefer indicator alerts on the 15-minute chart. Lately, I've been using the RTI instead of the RSI, and I'm using this cumulative delta for confirmation on trend-based trades. So on IOTA, we were in the green zone on this late yesterday morning, but since then a steady pump, and now we're in the red zone. So if you're trading on leverage, this might be a good place to take a short. If you are a spot trader and you just want the price to go up, you probably want to retrace before getting in something like this. So there's a couple things we can do. I'm just used to having this right below the chart. So for trend-based trading, I'm looking for the RTI to go above the 50 value. And I find that most of the time when that happens, it makes a nice move up. And if it drops below, it makes a nice move down. So we have an example of that here at 5:15 last night. As you can see, it caught the nice move up. So the alert I'm going to set, I'm going to right click, add alert on RTI. And the first one that's listed is the RTI crossover 50. That dotted white line's at the 50 value. So I'll select that one. Once per bar close, I'll probably call this AA score purchase. And notifications, I'm going to notify in my app, pop up on my computer screen, and play a sound. 3 notes reverb, and I'm good to go. I've already got this one set, so I'm not going to set it again. So if you're looking for retraces, and another option is to catch the RTIs, dips below 20 and comes back up. That's what you want to do if you're spot trading. If you're doing leverage, you may want to set this up for a short. So it's going to go above the 80 and dip back down. Now we had a fake out here. Those are always frustrating. It has a big move up, dips below, and even looks to be confirmed by the cumulative delta, and then it just bounces right up. Probably had something to do with that Bitcoin news that we looked at earlier. And if you know that kind of thing is happening, you just don't trade around here. If you don't, then you can get burned on something like that. But to set an alert on the 80/20, right click, add an alert, go to entering a channel, set 80 for the top value, 20 for the bottom, once per bar close, And I usually call this 1, 2, 3 dip pump. Because on the 15-minute, when this kind of candle action happens, you can head over to the 5-minute and you're usually be in a dip sequence or a pump sequence. And again, since I have this one already set, I'm not going to set it again. So X out of that. Any questions on IOTA? Okay, let's see what else we can find. So that's an AA score sort. Gonna reload. We'll do a social activity sort as well. I'm looking for a match of fire and or thumbs up. Looking for a long move. We could look at Loom. See if there's something I like a little bit better. ZRX. 1 inch. All right, let's just go on up to Loom. We'll treat this. I'm not sure if Loom is something one can trade. Well, let's check it out. See if we can trade this on leverage or not. Okay, it does look like it has a perpetual contract on Bybit. So if you have a Bybit account, you could probably trade it there. Otherwise, you'll probably want to trade this on spot. And there's probably USD pair on, I thought this would be on Coinbase, but I don't see it here. Well, you can get it on MEXC. I know more people are using that exchange. I haven't used it before, so let's check out Loom. We'll treat it as a, oh shoot, I should have chosen one. We'll just look at the Binance chart. Okay, on the 5-minute, Bollinger Bands, not as squeezy as they look, 3.5%. This one's been moving lately, so quite a bit of drama. But we're at the SMA line now on the 5-minute chart, so that's not where I want to be for an entry. I think down here in the green zone would be a good entry potentially, right around 26 cents. Yeah, we're not that far from that now, so you might want to set a price alert on 26 cents and see if you can get in on that entry. On the 15-minute with our indicators, last time we crossed above the 50 was Wednesday afternoon, and as you can see, it had a big move up. You know, over 50%. And if you're using the RTI and the cumulative data, maybe you stay in that trade for a while if you're watching it. I tend to choose my take profits based on resistance, but others in this group like to watch these indicators until they start to dip. So, for example, here it crosses here, we get confirmation here. So stay in this. Oh, maybe that's not a good example because it dipped so hard. The RTI went down pretty hard, and then the candle action went sideways, sort of a divergence. But yeah, and then it takes a big drop here on the delta. Then maybe you get back in here when you have the strong move on the delta, and it picks up the second move quite a bit better than the first. So on your another thing I've dabbled with is when the RTI breaks above 80 to go long, and that would have worked really well in this situation. And it's just hanging in there for a while. So there's a couple ways you can do this. We've seen the ad alert on the crossover 50. You could also cross above the 80. Once per bar close, if you want to keep that on, and that'll let you know when you're getting a big move like this. You get a couple fake out moves here, but eventually there's a secondary move. So that crossing up 80 would have worked pretty well. Okay. So that's another option. And then for the 80-20, it dips down here. And you might still be in that trade. Yeah, the delta's trending down. Yeah, I'd probably still be in that trade. Then it goes back up. You're trying to catch a short. I don't know if I'd want to short right now. I'm a little leery of it based on the good news we get on a late Friday afternoon. So anyway, on this one, I think I'm going to try something very different. I'm going to go with that 80. I'm going to cross above the 80. Greater than, crossing up. And just use this one. This was a social activity sort. Maybe use a different. Go with the handbell on this one. Create that one. So if a loom pumps above that 80 again, I'll be back in. Okay, I was a little scattered on that one. Any questions on loom? Okay. So we've done an AA score, a social activity sort. Let's look at long-term sentiment and pair it up with elder impulse. This is a similar sort that social activity is, a little more detailed, and elder impulse is a technical indicator. So when these match up, that's something I want to check out. Okay, very bullish on Holochain. It's been a while since I've traded that one. On CRO, got a match. STX, I like that one. That's been a while on that one. FXS. Let's go with STX. Okay, that one pumped really well with the good news and is still pumping. And shot above the 80 with a vengeance on the RTI. So I think if you want to do a price alert, your support's here at 48.75, and again down here in the green zone at 48.30. So those are options. On the 15, RTI crossed each time it crosses the 50, crossed here, and it crossed above the 80 as well. That was a fake out. The 50 might have worked. Cross that here. Yeah, that would have worked for me. I'm usually looking for 1% at 10x leverage. So that would have been a nice quick win for me. If you're looking for a bigger move, you'd still be in that for a while. You don't really get out till today, so you're in this nearly 2 days, but it's up almost 5%. And caught a couple dips as well. A little bit of a fake out here, but eventually we catch this dip. So that would have worked out eventually. Probably maybe take this one. The delta's trending down pretty well, so I probably would have gotten in there and gone against me. Take my additional purchase at 2%. Yeah, probably get out around here, somewhere in this vicinity. Okay. And the dips below the 20. I haven't used my vertical line yet. Okay, so we have this cross above the 20 catches that move up. this dip below the 80 eventually catches that move down. Another dip above the 20 catches this move here, depending on how long you're in. If you're going for this resistance, which I think would be reasonable, you don't get out till all the way over here. And another dip below the 20 and a pump catches that move. And this one's not so good because it looks like it's going to dip and then it takes off based on the news. So not bad, but not great. Okay. So I might want to wait to see if this one crashes. But I don't know, too much good stuff happening with this one. Not sure if I want to short this. I think I'll pass on this as a short, but could be pretty good as a long if it, say, takes a little retrace and then shoots up again. Any questions on STX? Okay. So let's reload. And look at the 24-hour change. Okay. What here do I like to trade? I kind of like Maker. I like shorting ICP. Let's look at ICP as a short. Usually have a Friday short. I know the CryptNation guys are not a fan of this project necessarily, but, or at least it's a potential as an investment. 5 minute, kind of looks like STX. It's pumping up pretty well. I remember this trading this last year and it was over 40. Okay, mostly sideways on the 15-minute chart, trending up gradually, and then that pump. So the over 50 would have worked. Got that here. Eventually would have caught that move up. A little better entry there. A dip below the 50. Might have caught that dip here. I'd probably still be in that trade. Yeah, not a good short. Dip below 50 here. Might have worked. Yeah, shorts aren't looking good. Mostly pumping today. So your 50 or your 80, crossing above your 50 here, would have been a pretty good entry. Crossing above the 80 here, would have been pretty good. Neither had great support on the delta though. You do get that here on this white bar. Shoots up here. We get better confirmation. So if you're looking for bigger moves, you might want to take that into consideration. So a quick recap. Let's say you want to trade over the 80 or the 50 on the RTI. Right click, add an alert, cross over the 50. If you want to wait till it breaks over the 80 and looks like it might stay a while, we're going to go greater than or crossing up the 80 here and call it what you want. So those are the two ways to catch this thing trending up. I don't really see it as a short at the moment. Unless you go in kind of small up here in the red zone, wait for it to drop. Could happen. But I think we're a little too close to good news. That's something I might want to look at, tomorrow morning or Sunday morning. Any questions on ICP? Okay, well, we'll look through 4 charts. Any particular coins or anything you want to look at or discuss before we wrap it up? Okay, I'll wrap it up here. A little shorter than usual. Short and sweet and hard to beat. If you're watching on the recording, thanks for doing that. Please check out the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel, keep it alive. If you're a Carbon member, stick around. Well, actually, you'll need to exit this and join with a different link. We'll talk about Carbon in about a half an hour or so. Otherwise, see you guys next time.